to the test. He tries for hours without a rest, and you can do it too.
Hi everyone, how's everyone this evening? Oh, right, so, should we get on with it? What am I going to do? So we've run all the tutorials, we haven't finished all the scenarios on the stream, so we should look at that at some point. Let's do service mode, someone suggested taking a HST out of Old Oak and then running it on the service. So let's do that, I think. Do we do it in the rain? Let's do it in the rain. 624 out of Old Oak Common. That'll be nice and dark. Is the audio coming through and video and everything else okay? Right, 5 Charlie 03, which I think becomes 1 Charlie 03. What time is 1 Charlie 03? One Charlie 03 is at 7 o'clock. Okay, so we will only have about 15 minutes to wait or so. Let's do that. Simon, yeah, there are definitely double 166s in the scenarios, but I think that when I did service mode, I completely forgot to put double up the 166s. Never mind. So, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, there is. I spent a bit of time digging around last night, and I found a way of turning motion blur off. For those of you that don't want it, so I'm going to run it tonight with the motion blur switched off. If you so Dovetail put an official post up on the Steam forum. If someone can put a link to it, if they can go and find it, that would be good. But you'll notice tonight that there's no motion blur on this, which is kind of good and kind of bad. Like I said, I like the motion blur, but I do understand why some people don't. And it may be that on higher end machines it's less of a problem, but certainly. Right, let's put that on. Parking brakes okay. Day, let's put it on night for the time being. For this run, brakes off. Right, so follow the purple lines, make sure it all goes in the right direction. Good. Sometimes the horns just don't play. I don't know, I've got the audio team looking at it at the moment. Well, not right now, obviously. Coom Doom, submitted your feedback earlier today about the overall audio in the game being considerably quiet. Yep, okay, good. Thank you for that. Well, we've only got one slideshow set, P-Slick, so the loading screen slideshow, there is just the one slideshow set, so that's why at the moment. At some point we might add multi-slideshows that based on the route or train you're using or something. Baked Bean Kid, so if you don't know how to follow those instructions, then don't worry about it. The next patch hopefully will have an option in that lets you switch the motion blur off within the game. That was really just a case of, hey, for those of you that don't mind pasting a couple of lines into an INI file, this will fix the problem for you right now. Matador, will we add ATP? Hopefully, at some point. I can't confirm or deny anything at the moment, but... the approach signals, they're supposed to be there, but you're right, I haven't seen them either, Coom Doom. They are supposed to be there. I don't know why that's not happening. I will get the signalling team to find out why they're not occurring. Yes, please do, Kumdu. Please do. Energetic Shadow, you love the DLC. Funniest part is you got kidnapped 3 times by HCT today. You walk into the cabin service mode and the air drives away with you in it. And at that point, there's nothing much you can do, really. Mandapai, it could be down to international keyboard support. One of the things that we found is that the way Unreal talks to keyboards, if you press P, go into here and look at your keyboard layout code, if you're having any problems with the keyboard at all, then get that keyboard layout code and send it to the Dovetail support along with any, well, you know, a description of what issues you're having, and then can look into it, because there's I think the game already supports about 60 different keyboard codes, and it's amazing just how many there are. It's not even down necessarily to internationalization. You know, there's different subtypes. I think one language has got about 15 different keyboards that we've supported in there or something. DVD Mark, just a quick thank you to all the team for this brilliant game. Thank you very much, DVD Mark. I will pass that on. Is a reflection on the sides real time? It is, but it's using a technique called screen space reflection. So let me spoil the illusion. It's what's on the screen that gets reflected. So if it's not on the screen, so this bit's on the screen but this bit isn't, it's a trick, because real reflections are very expensive. Nearly as shiny as the diesel tank on your truck. Oh yeah, screen space reflection does work exceptionally well. It's one of those really cheap ways of doing something, and in most cases it actually does fill the void. I mean, this would, if you were doing this as a real reflection, it would literally half your frame rate. That's how much of an impact doing that would have if we were doing it as a proper reflection. Not many trains about. No, there aren't. There was one that went past a minute ago. Oh, everything. Yeah, gaming has come a long way, some game Randy. Definitely. It definitely has. What computers are just capable of now is unreal, frankly. What do the brake test service switches do? I'm not entirely sure is the answer to that. Monty the Horse, so there's an issue with AWS at the moment that's only come to light at the 11th hour. That means that it's actually more a problem with TPWS, but they're all part of the same subsystem. Ozrad, thank you very much for the sub, much appreciated. That basically means that TPWS can get TPWS TSS grids can get confused and cause you to get an emergency brake application even when you've got a green aspect or a yellow aspect. So it's on the list. I think it's already actually been fixed in the internal build, but yeah, don't for the time being leave AWS turned off until this patch comes out. Then it'll be good. Then it'll be fine. You turn it on if you want to play with it. You turn it on by flicking that switch. But yeah, at the moment, if you do that, you'll probably get quite frustrated with it. Oh, it's already sorted, Monty. It just needs to go through QA and come out in the next patch. That was fixed on, I think it was today that was fixed. The guys were working hard yesterday and today going through all the early feedback. So that HSC corridor thing, that's fixed in the internal build as well. And the bungee hoses should be fixed now as well. Right, heading into Paddington now. Got our green light. Yeah, we've already actually, compared to how it was when we originally were doing the dev of the game, we've already increased the draw distance of the track from what it was. But no, it's the sleepers mostly that you see appearing right up in front of you. The track's generally okay, but it's the sleepers. The problem is the sleepers are really, really super detailed, and if you wind the sleepers back, then you start experiencing frame rate issues. Moricom, 11 months and counting. Well done on the new release. Thank you very much indeed, Moricom. 11 months. Appreciate your support. Oopsie. Did you see the little prezi I sent you, Moricom, on Discord? Eton, thank you for the cheer. Paddington, yes, Paddington. When did we start making GWE? mean, the HST was probably the first bit that was started, and that was started a fair bit before Sandpatch came out. Really, the root production on the whole production on mass started. I don't know, maybe a couple of as while the patches were going on, I guess. So I don't know, when did we release March? So it probably would have been about March, April time, I guess we started. Yes, actually, yeah, when the all-white render of the HST is in one of the dev diaries, quite right. Bought it 3 hours ago and you're loving it. Excellent, that's really good. Wait until it says to close the doors before we turn around. Right, what time is it? I've got 20 minutes before this thing goes. You don't have to license any old bear that eats marmalade sandwiches, but most people would expect it to look like a very specific bear. Yeah, new cut. Got it at the Old Oak Common. I keep calling it the Old Oak Common, don't ask me why. Yeah, the rain, it's weird because the rain isn't coming out here. For some reason it's still appearing on the windows, so it's on the list of things that the team have got to look at. Right, let's deliver the HST. Let's put it in engine off. Close that off. Put that in full service. If you're changing ends, you must make sure you put this in full service, because otherwise you'll find that this is the way that the brakes work in an HST is that if you've got 2 brake levers, one at either end, and say if one of them is in release, then that commands it's the most releasey of the brakes is what you get on the whole train essentially. So if you leave this in release, you can never apply the brakes at the other end. So you always put them on apply. Yeah, I made the mistake of leaving Discord running. Hang on. What else have I got running that shouldn't be? That should be alright. Right, okay. That's fine. That's all good. What we could do, we got 19 minutes to kill, so let's have a wander around before we come back. Platform 3 for 1 Charlie 03 at 0700. I believe that's my train. What else have we got here? Martin, if you've got particular beef, then you're better off raising that with Dovetail directly. It's outside of my control, mate. No, the head codes aren't visible outside of the game, unfortunately. It'd be nice if, when you looked at the map, you could get the head code of the train, but unfortunately you can't. Oh, that one's just left, I see. I thought I heard a train somewhere. Remember, we're on platform 3, folks. Platform 3. No running on the platform. That's all I do, though. I just run around everywhere. There is a deal going on at the moment for the two of them, LNER 720. I think it's $34.99 for the pair. I don't know why the pad wires aren't in Paddington. That's been raised. The pre-order was cheaper. I think the pre-order was about 28 LNER. Can I look at the disruption poster again? That one. We are pleased to announce. Oh well, never mind. Heaps to UK, it sounds like DSD is going off. If you look at one of my videos on YouTube, I show you how to drive the Class 395. It sounds like DSD is going off. DSD is a regular thing. It goes off every 60 seconds or so. No, you can't go through the ticket barriers. This is a train simulator, not a London simulator. No, there's no money changes hands for the licenses. It's sort of slightly different rules that apply for businesses and things that are present in places. As long as you represent the place, if they are business in a place, then you can just represent them. That doesn't need a license. That's the understanding, although they have then the right to come back and request to be removed as well, which we would have to deal with. But our lawyers keep looking at these things to see what we can do better. Simulated Cafe Nero. How do you turn on and off AWS? There's on the HS. It's usually fuses or isolation switches. Let me get in the cab. So let's get this one prepped and ready to go. Got day-night markers, switch that on, put it in neutral. So that one would turn your AWS on, but, and this is DSD, this one, but what I would say is don't do it until the patch. Whoa, it's getting busy now. Minutes till we depart. I do have a deep Discord server, Heapster, but it's for subs only. But if you're having a problem, then you should get in touch with Dovetail support and they can help you out. But if you just look at my YouTube video on the Class 395, I've got a how to drive the Class 395 video, and it talks you through all the different things it can do. No, you can't open the this rear door here. It's not very much. It's the modelling internally wasn't where the art team wanted it to be, so you can't get in there, unfortunately. Will TSW have the same DLC system as Railworks, allowed to see more trains on the line? Absolutely. That's kind of the point, is to be able to create a platform that, you know, we can start creating more trains and routes and things for. This is the first, this is DLC. Will the level of effort required to make routes this detailed be a constraint in future? Yeah, yes and no. Yes if we don't do clever things, no if we don't. Essentially. I think I got my logic right the wrong way there. Hey Fruit J, thank you for the sub, mate. Good and well done on your stream today. Yeah, so I mean, it's down to, yeah, I mean, the more detailed the route is, obviously the more time consuming it is to make it. But then the other thing is, at the moment, what's really time consuming is that we don't have any assets. You know, we're building everything from scratch. So once you've built stuff once, it's going to get easier the second time around, in theory. Oh, 8 minutes. You got a bad cough there, Sim Gamer Andy. Yeah, absolutely. Once you've modelled your train, you don't need to model it again, as long as it's not as long as it's the same train. For example, if you were to do BR Blue era, then a lot of this nose is all different. So that you would have to change the modelling. The cab is very different. If you look at cab photos on Flickr and things like that, this is the cab for this this unit, but or for this period. But if you change the light clusters and go back to BR blue, then the cab changes as well. So you end up mounting up this actually. You're almost remodeling the loco, even though it mostly looks the same. It's the easy bit, the side bit, that looks the same. All the hard bit is what looks different. Better. Put some gauge lights on. 7 minutes, and it's time to go. Right, 1C03 is express to Reading. Now, we get into Reading at 7:25. What can we do at 7:25? There's HST going back, or we could take 2P20 coming back, actually. Let's do that. It's only a 5-minute wait once we get to Reading to get 2 Papa 20 coming back again. How long did it take to model and texture the HST loco? Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. A long time. It was the most complicated of the trains to build, mostly because of the complex shape. Because what happens is that you sort of, this nose isn't just on this nose; it affects the entire shape of the back. So what happened was that the loco was built, and then started making the coaches and realising there's something wrong here with because these need to match. At this end, and if they didn't quite match, then it was changed here, and then that had a ripple effect all the way down, which then required the nose to be redone, and that happened 3 or 4 times until it was finally about right. So this has been a very, very difficult shape to do. But historically, in all train sims, the HST nose is very difficult to get right. But I think the artist who did it, Tom, has done an incredible job. Less than 5 minutes to go now. The service hasn't been given isn't started yet, Whitemead. So until the service is started, dispatch won't allocate it a path. Four minutes. I think we're all set up and ready to rock. Makes right. Well, electric trains run on the Great Western Main Line. The real ones, things like, I think the 387s are the commuter ones, and then you've got the Heathrow Connect and Heathrow Express services. I think that's all there is for electrics. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. At the moment, obviously, you'll have Crossrail services with 345s running on there at some point. Passenger numbers go up and down during the course of the day, yes. Instrument dimmer switch is this one here. Are all the sounds recorded? Yes. Yeah, the audio team went out on a number of trips to get the recordings for these. 387s are not in Railworks, no. But I guess you could run a 377 and pretend. Hey, the Sonic fan, I'm good, thank you. Couple of minutes. That was 166 just left earlier on. Any chance of any first class riding tonight? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Not tonight though. Not this particular service anyway. We're driving this one. Is my door open? No. I haven't got any of that set up. Well, next week, if I were to know, yes, quite probably. Did I have a nice relaxing day today? Pretty much. I mean, I didn't get my lazy backside out of bed until like 12 o'clock. I'm disgusted with myself just saying it. And then I've been doing house cleaning and sitting on a few people's streams today, just seeing how people are getting on with the game. Less than a minute to go. Transport Guide, if you're having problems loading the game, then can I request you post a message to the Dovetail Kayako if someone can do the support link, because they need to know that stuff. I'm not actually at work at the moment for the next 2 weeks, so. Are you going over the Semmering Pass? Nice. Peachnik, I opened and closed the doors on delivery of the train in. That's yeah, essentially. But this service then starts with leaving the platform, so it's not 100% ideal, but it's how it works. The speedo, this is all I think the ATP controls, and that will go with this, but ATP isn't set up. The ammeter going to 1500, it's not prototypically correct, it's a compromise that's going to take a bit longer to deal with. Essentially the team have gone with make it actually behave about right versus what it looks like in the cab, because they can't make it do both at the moment. It's on the list though. It's part of the problem with the challenge with the way Simulgraph works, is that it requires these sort of unprecedented levels of detail that they're only starting to be able to get access to and figure out how to implement. Like I said, it'll come. And once it's done, it'll never need doing again. Rob, AWS isolation on the HST is this one over here, and this is DSD. Well, as I've said previously today, don't turn it on until the patch comes out, otherwise you'll find it very frustrating. Because when you turn AWS on, TPWS obviously comes on, and there's currently a slight bug in the TPWS implementation that can throw the brakes on at any signal. Applies to all trains, Chris. It's because the TPWS implementation is common to all trains, as it should be. It's the same thing. On the 166 is behind you, on the 66 is behind you as well. Have you posted that image on Discord, Transport Guide? The textures aren't a bit of a mess, Crazy Dan. They're built to be efficient, not built to be pretty. Yeah, the AWS TPWS bug doesn't happen on every signal, Cameron's Gaming, but if you find that the alarm goes off or the train just suddenly stops for no reason, that's probably what it was. But yes, until the patch comes out, I would suggest don't enable AWS. It'll happen on even a green signal sometimes, Cameron's Gaming, believe it or not. Who's that little 166 upstart thinks he is? I'm going to own that train in a minute. No, like I said, the trains, the reskin, the texture sheets are not built for reskinning. They're built for efficiency. But you'll get the hang of it. Do I ever experience slow gaming performance when I'm using an SSD? Yes, I do occasionally, and I just have to reboot the machine. It's like it gets bunged up a little bit. And I have to reboot the machine and then it gets back to flying again. No, that error really doesn't tell me anything, unfortunately, Fraser. Make sure you've hit the send button, because that'll make sure it gets to the developers. I'm not sure what else to suggest, other than checking your driver numbers. What is the specs of your machine? Right, 30 miles to go. No, don't PM me a DXDI, just tell me what they are. I just need to know just interested to know what graphics card, graphics driver version and processor and memory. Captain Jenks, well done on TSW, had a play earlier and it looks great, looking forward to many more hours of fun. 10th month, thank you very much indeed, Captain Jenks, I appreciate your support. Misread that signal. I'm on the left, not the one on the right. Do you think an Asus GTX 1070 could handle the game max graphics? Yep, should be no problem with that. I run it on a 970 max graphics, no problem at all. Even on a mobile 970, no problem at all. Cameron's Gaming. I can't understand the keys that you're referring to there. Again, raise it as a support query to Dovetail Games, because if there's keyboard rewinding issues, then that needs to go to them. Remember, I'm not at work, so I can't talk. I'm not talking to the engineers now on a regular basis. Therefore, the best bet for getting stuff to the engineers is via the support system. Class 3 on 3, am I still playing Train Sim tonight? I am going to play some TS 2017 tonight, yes. Do I think a Spectrum 48K can run this on max graphics? Not yet, Moggy. Soon, soon. All you need to do is take your Spectrum, open the top off, there's a couple of screws you need to undo, and then throw the whole lot in the bin and buy a PC that can run the game. Oh, the button's under the Speedo Spectrum emulator, yeah. Hang on, you're writing this down. Well, this is where I prefer it with motion blur, because the sleepers I just find super distracting now. Oh, hello. Trains all over the place. Is it possible to change the head code on the Riviera 50s? Yeah, if you keep using the headlight key, it'll cycle through all the different headlight combinations. "23 miles to go." Will DTG fix the door sounds with the GE Arrow 3? Again, that's one for Dovetail. I don't know the answer to that question. You're on a rail tour tomorrow, Dan. Excellent. Where are you going? So yes, don't forget you can turn motion blur off if someone can link to the Steam forum page. It's just a couple of lines you paste into an ini file and then that's it. There is going to be a better solution to that coming in the game, but until that happens, that would at least let you make the change yourself. I think I need to speed this camera up. Oops. Or slow the train down so it's not breaking the speed limit, one of the two. Going to Kingswear on 2 Class 50s, nice. How far does the line extend? So this is Paddington to Reading. So that's Paddington at the right hand side, and then in the west you've got Reading. It includes the depot facilities and the triangle, but it doesn't go down to Reading West. How does the game deal with overspeeds? Well, you can see there that the speedometer, my current speed, goes yellow for 3 miles an hour, and then beyond that it goes red. Once it goes red, you see these little plus 50s I'm getting. That's if you, every sort of, I can't remember what the distance is, but every a certain amount of distance you drive and you're within speed limit, you get a plus 50. If you're overspeeding, that stops. So you get less score at the end of the day if you drive it too fast. Will the next add-on be another 6 months? There's nothing announced at the moment, Train LeBrian. How does score work for being late? I don't think it gets applied at the moment. Scoring is one of those things that sort of, it's being added to as we go, but it's not, I don't think scoring is really quite where I want it to be yet. Yeah, there's a Windsor train. I think it looked like it was heading off. Yeah, in fact, there it is. It's off. It's on its way out now. $3.95. Am I a coder developer? Generally, broadly, yes. Of this game, kind of, I guess. I'm a senior producer for this game, and there are other teams. There's a coding team. There's a content creation team. I did some of the stuff to make service mode work, but the vast majority is done by the whole team, and an amazing job they've done too. I haven't looked at your specs yet, hang on a minute. Yeah, that shouldn't be causing crash. Have you tried doing a verify? Have you tried completely uninstalling, deleting the entire folder and reinstalling? I mean, it might not run great, but I wouldn't be surprised. It should work. Yeah, my goal for the points 60, 70, 80 is they're there so that you know whether or not you could do better, really. It's sort of a point of comparison, but they need more balancing and adjusting and Is there a chance you could choose whether you bought CSX or GWR when you first buy the game? At the moment, no. CSX Heavy Haul is the base game, so without that, nothing else will work. That probably sounds really strange, but that's what it is. Have we started working on multiplayer yet? There's been some prototyping done, but the team really have been focusing on this stuff. No, your score will never ever go down, LNER and BR. That's been a fundamental tenet of this, is that score should never go down. Score should only ever go up, and the penalty should simply be that you don't gain a score, rather than taking away score that you've already earned. Because that's just an exercise in pain in the current game, where you get a really good score and you're late at one station, suddenly you've got minus 10 points. You had 800 a minute ago. Webs Racing, yeah, the glitch across the HST is a known issue. The team have been on it today. Yeah, not losing score has been my dream for a long time, and I had to make a whole new simulator to make it happen, but we got there. The other thing was that I didn't want it limited to 1,000 points. I wanted it so that scenarios could have a grade for each scenario. So that if you do, because at the moment in TS1, if you do a 5-minute drive a train 3 miles, you'll get 1,000 points. If you drive for 3.5 hours with a bunch of complex shunting, you get 1,000 points. No, I just never really felt like that was fair. So, whereas in the way that this works, there would be quite a big disparity between those scores. So it should, and it just does that naturally. Calspec, tried the game out yesterday. It's really amazing. So far, the 166 is your favourite. Me too. It's so awesome to run that in this game. Also great on the great FPS. Excellent. I'm glad you're getting on with it. Do I have more than one graphics card? No, Unreal does not support SLI. That's actually a core restriction of Unreal. You can use alternate frame rendering, AFR, to get some degree of improvement, but I think there's other things that may not work 100%. So it's a case that you might get some mileage out of AFR. I certainly wouldn't buy an SLI setup to do it. I'm not sure it would be worthwhile. I've not tested it, and it's not a configuration we've tested, but I've seen other people say they've got it working on other Unreal games. Thank you very much, Webs Racing. Appreciate that. I'll pass that on to the team. I'll pass all your feedback on to the team, folks. They really appreciate it. Oh, 4 miles. Well, this journey got over quick. What time was our other train? We're coming in at 7:19. We're on 1CO3, aren't we? Yep, due in at 7:25, 7:26. And we were going to take 7:28 train out, I think. No. 7:30 train out, that's better. You're doing A-level computer science language using a C#. How easy would it be to learn C++ or another C-based languages? C++ is a complex beast, but if you know C#, then I guess C++ isn't going to... It's the object orientation bit that generally can be quite tricky to grasp, and you'll get that with C#. Whereas once you know that, you'll be fine, and then you'll be able to it won't be trivial. I'll put it that way, but it'll be feasible. You should be all right. Thank you, Shoot D. Mile to 60 limit, 1.4 miles to our stop. Thank you, 3985. That out of the way. I'm not in a rush. Like I said, I'm not planning anything particular for 072. I'm taking it easy. We do this for a bit, then we'll move on to something else, and at some point we'll stop doing trains and move on to something different. I'll get back to a more sensible schedule next week. LNR 7220, will there be a route builder? At some point. Hopefully. That's the goal, anyway. There are many technical challenges to overcome before that can happen. Trucks farming, all the usual schedule. Hopefully I can come back to you next week, yeah. 7 minutes till our eastbound train goes. I'm not sure what to suggest, Transport Guide, other than trying different drivers. The Real Dugger! Great to have you back streaming, Matt. Well done to you and the DGG team on GWE. Thank you for that. 11th month. Thank you for the support, Real Dugger. Much appreciated. Video card drivers, I mean, Transport Guide. Display drivers. The AMD drivers. Right. Probably should engine off this one, pop the master key out. Someone else will take this one over. We're all done. Right, now our next train is the 2P20 0730 service for London Paddington, which I suspect isn't here yet. Oh, it might be over there though. Ooh, hello, let's walk it into a wall, shall we? Dave, so what's this you see? Steve, Paul and the alien thing all playing GWE. Anyone think there's a new DLC that's been released? Absolutely, Dave. Who's the alien thing anyway? Can't possibly be me. What happens if you get run over? Nothing spectacular, it just sort of glitches really. There's not really any effort been put into what happens if you get run over. Otherwise we wouldn't get licenses. What I don't know though is which is my train. What have we got leaving? So it's either 2P20 or 2P21, one of the two. One of them's leaving at 7:30, one of them at 7:34. It doesn't really matter which one we get on then, does it? Oh, actually, if I sit down in the driver's seat, it'll tell me. It's in platform 15, is it? Let's have a quick look, sit down on this one then, and find out. Dave, also game audio is louder than me speaking. And you're complaining about that, are you? That slots at 7:34, yeah, that is 2P21. Let's head over to platform 15 then. We need a wasted style death screen, yeah, we've joked about that in the past. No, that's 7:36. Oh, that's due in at 7:36. At Twyford. Yeah, this is the right one. This is the right train. This is the right train, I think. I think, sort of... Actually, that implies that we're due to go now. Because it should say wait to start. I'm confused. I'm going to wait until 7:30 though. Oh no, there's no path until 7:30, that's why. Shall we unlock the doors? Yeah, schedule 2P20, according to the timetable, it's 7:35. Which should be close enough to 7:36. The timetable is sort of rounding errors out. Glenn, this train is so quiet in the cab in reality. You'll get more running noise once we get going, but you really can't hear the engine very much. And if you pick a service mode and end up spawned walking, can you report that? Because what that means is that a train is not where it's expecting it to be, and I need to fix timings. So report that one to Dovetail. Hey Martin, I am one of the builders, but it's not. I don't choose what routes we make. You need to complain to Dovetail if you want, or recommend to Dovetail if you want particular routes to be made. Yep, we got the signal. That's not a bad shout actually, Luke Knight. Having the unlock left there and unlock right there or something like that. Simon, can you suggest you get the path at least 30 seconds before departure? Yeah, you can suggest it. The way the dispatch works, that might be a bit trickier. But yeah, that's something we can look at. Rewriting the service mode timetable to create that, to make that happen, that's a different beast. Right, Twyford's our first stop. What happens if you attempt to open the doors while the train is moving? Nothing, the interlocking prevents you from doing that. And did you not hear what I said earlier on? If you've done that, send the service details to Dovetail so that they can let that log it. Because I know what the cause of that is, but I need to fix it. Oh, DSD's running. That's off. Interesting. Will it be possible to add another 1/6 unit to some of the services? No, it's not that easy because everything's all the services start somewhere and end somewhere. So there is a DSD's near the headlights. One of these. Look, that's isolated. Oh, okay, vigilance. Got ya. Yeah, so all the trains start at Reading in the morning and they come out and they go back in again to Reading. So in order to make one of them a 6-car unit, I'd have to reorganise 2 complete service paths, which affect about probably 100 services in total. So you'd end up with a lot less services to drive for a start. Two miles. Could the hub be slightly bigger? We've never actually had that request before, Redders. Most requests are about having it slightly smaller. Thank you, Tyrone. I think it should be a random weather option. Oh, just the time. Yeah, that is a little on the small side, isn't it? You could do that, Ayrton, but then if we spend engineer time doing that, then what don't you then want in the next version of the product? These things all take time, and it's very much a case of add one feature in means take another feature out, and there's no such thing as a simple feature, unfortunately. I've had all these debates. I keep trying to squeeze things in and being told to go away. The temperature you can't change. Hello. I'm going to run you over. The temperature you can't change because the temperature is controlled by the time of year and the time of day. Those are sidings at Old Oak. Don't 166 ever park at those? Some of them do. In regards to the 166 and 6 coach, could you add an extra consist with 2 or 4 more services that could run at peak time only? The trains have to come from somewhere, though, I guess. So the short answer is anything is possible, but any iteration on that timetable takes about 4 hours to make the change, run the test, run the resimulate, and then be able to go and have a look and see what happened. And bearing in mind it has to slot in amongst all the other services. Generally, it requires about half a dozen resimulations at 2 hours a time to do that. So that's the main reason I've been reluctant to do anything too fancy with a timetable, because it can be really time consuming to do. But I will, if I get a chance, I'll take a look. But I'm off for the next 2 weeks, which means I don't have I'm not going to be there for while they're doing the patches. Why do no trains stop at Hanwell? I don't know. I assume 165 stop at Hanwell, maybe. Because there's no 165 schedules in here. But the timetable won't change, it just mean longer trains. But all of the trains at the moment start as 3-car units in Reading Depot. Yeah, I saw the tube station attack, Rob. Fortunately, no one died, so that is a ray of light. How about simulate all the trains and have a real timetable? That's what we're trying to do, Ellen. Yeah. It's not that easy. Right. 6.4 miles, going to Maidenhead next. Koondoo, that actually sounds really good. Our team, the 2 or 3 people involved in doing the service mode timetable, I've often thought it feels like we're trying to figure out something here that multi-million-pound software tries to solve. So it'd be really interesting to know how it's done in the real world. How do you get the coloured spots to show where to stop? So Control 1 puts the blue marker there, and on the ground you get the coloured markers, but the coloured markers don't work in service mode at the moment. That's again on the fix list. So in scenarios you get the coloured markers on the ground. They'll be in the next patch. They'll be in service mode as well. You'd be surprised, but he does it on a paper, pen, pencil and ruler. Yeah, well, that doesn't actually surprise me at all. Sometimes it feels like that would be easier than trying to convince the computer to do it. Are the buffers on the 66 sprung? Yes, they are. If you get a brake demand, then basically you need to sit with the train for, I think it's a couple of minutes, I'm told, to reset it. Thank you, Koondoo. That'd be awesome. So up here it's on there. Right, let's try that. .1 miles now, Maidenhead. Is it possible to drive along with the driver's door open? No, it isn't. If you leave the driver's door open as you start moving, it auto closes and locks. Why does it rain inside Paddington Station? That's a bug. The 66 you can drive with the door open. But you can't get out. You can't jump out of that one. This train you can just leap out the side. You don't have to press E to climb a ladder, whereas on 66 you have to climb out of a ladder. What? It's raining. Why would the mopers not be approved? I'm not in a tunnel and it's raining. That feels like that's the self-test for the wipers working. Whoops. Can you not see the rain on the windows? Alright, I'll turn the wipers off then. Oh, I'm supposed to be stopping here. Full on Nebworth. Fortunately, this thing's got emergency brakes like I don't know what. As long as I don't pass another signal, we can get back in the platform and we can just all pretend that didn't happen. It never happened. Even if Twitch copied the clip of it, it never really happened. I was watching chat. Blame chat. Oh no, this probably means I won't get forward again now. Dope. That's probably it. Epically failed, actually. I'm not sure what to suggest then, Transport Guide. Any errors in your Microsoft, your Windows event log? Yeah, I'll try requesting permission, but I think it'll just end me. I'll get ended. No route available, yeah. No route available because it thinks that I'm on that route probably. It's got confused about the fact that I'm trying to get a route into somewhere that I'm already on. Oh well, let's just end the scenario in true style, shall we? Oh well. Oh no, I should have done load last checkpoint. Oh well, never mind. Hey, more man. Okay, let's do something different. Actually, no, we only just started that service. What was that? That was 2p20. Let's just do 2p20. We'll do it in full-on rain this time. Let's have it completely messed up. Lots of wind. Rob, can you do me a favour and unlog it with the support team? I haven't done the first Nebworth Baked Bean Kid. Lots of other people have Nebworthed already. Right. Time to go. Seems familiar. So can I run my wipers yet? Am I going to get up, or people can get upset if I run my wipers? See you later, Chris 512. Oh, that's interesting, Red Leader. That shouldn't have happened. Can you raise a ticket with Dovetail support on that one? Thank you, Red Leader. Sim Gamer Andy was giving me a standing ovation for that net worth, was it? Thank you very much. Can you refuel the HSC? You can refuel all the locos, but there's only the opportunity in a scenario or service to refuel these 66s, but they're all set up to allow it. Transport Guide, why don't you try posting on the Steam forum and see if anyone there's got any thoughts? There might be other people who are willing and able to help. Or have ideas, at least. If I hear anything, then I'll let you know, but I don't know what would cause that. There's no information on that crash screen to say what would cause it, what's caused it. Dan Demand says, I think the last time I did this was 6 or 7 months. I'm liking GWE a lot. Thank you very much, Dan Demand. 9th month support. Appreciate it. .4 miles. Power off. I haven't looked actually, Dan Demand. I need to get myself back into the swing of getting stuff downloaded on TS1 and getting stuff ready. I'm kind of taking it easy this weekend. Is it possible to get up as you're driving along? Yeah, it is. You can get up at any point. Whether that's a good idea, that's entirely up to you. What's that over there behind you? Let's get our stopping point up. Can you take over service on the move? No, you can't. The The train has to be stationary. You can take it over midway through its journey, but it has to be stopped. Your cunning plan didn't work. Not this time around. There are many station stops. This train is stopping at Twyford, Maidenhead, Taplow, Burnham, Slough, Langley, Ivor, West Drayton, Hayes and Harlington, Southall, Ealing Broadway and London Paddington. I'll have a look at the 66 Nest. Yes, 7220. What do you think? The Aggregates Unloading one, where you look at we do running around and we do freight unloading with EM2000 slow speed control and also refueling and things, or do we do dragline where we haul we have to couple up to the HST? The unloading one, yeah, that sounds good to me. Oh, hello. Lock the doors. Is there any service that unloads cargo? Yeah, the Aggregates Unloading one. I'll do that one. The game keeps freezing when he loads it. What's he doing? Is the engineers found something weird with the AC 4400 today. So if he's running it in CSX heavy haul, but if it's not that, then I don't know. So raise the ticket, give as much information as possible. What is it? What's on the screen when it freezes? Is it always the same thing when it freezes, and so forth? Pete Will, it's good to casually walk around and not get sniped. Yeah. Player unknowns, battle trains. What have we got? 6 miles. You fully expect a HD remake of Trains vs Zombies. Well, don't presume Cameron's gaming. Get screenshots off him. Just saying it freezes, they're not going to be able to do anything with that. They'll need more information than that. Moggy, what you do of an evening or a weekend is up to you. Four miles to go. The GW achievements, they'll come back to Steam once we figure out what why they're playing up, yeah. Random OHLE gantries. I don't know exactly what rules they've used to place them. I mean, in any case, nothing is ever exact, but I'm guessing that they're in roughly where they found them. Hibernating your computer while you've got a game running is a bad idea anyway, Danderman. I wouldn't recommend that. Half the time Windows doesn't even like it when you try and restore from hibernation, I've found. Every time you get that crash box up though, hit the send and close box. Send and close button. In theory that's possible, Glen Galt, yeah. Well, I think it's where they would have placed a gantry, so they've just placed a half-made gantry. They're not. It's not entirely random where they've been placed. Hey, Francois. If you touch the overhead wires near Paddington, do you get electrocuted? No, not in the game. Yeah, you're trying against him, Gamer Andy. It's not going to work. Is the 166's parking brake in the sim? It's an automatic. It's done automatically, so if you stop the train, effectively the parking brake applies. I think it's actually in there, isn't it, in reality? But we haven't modelled it in there, so it's been done as an automatic parking brake. It's one of those things where we didn't realise where it was until it was too late. Briggsy Gaming, no, there isn't any train announcements. You're going to get Flight Sim World with the new Typer DLC. Yeah, I must admit, I need to get hold of that Piper DLC. I've not looked at it yet. Well, I've seen it internally. We did a demo of it, but yeah, it looks good. Burnham, 3.3 miles. Is it possible to extract pack files? Yeah. If you have a copy of Unreal Engine, it comes with the tool to open a pack file. Cheers, Monty. Thank you for that. I'll pass that on. Wait a minute. Control 4 cycles the stuff on the right hand side. Control 2 and 3 toggles the information on the markers. Control 1 toggles the next distance marker. Francois, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. The people have been suggesting oh, that must be Taplow. People have been suggesting Wreckfest or fishing or something. Either of those sounds good to me, so at the nearer the time I'll maybe put a small poll up. The sounds are a bit on the low side, Captain Jenks, so you might need to just turn your sounds up on your system. See you later, transport guide. Oh, that sounds good, Francois. Is that on the suggestion? Is that on your recommended tab for the suggestion list? Because I'm going to start looking at that maybe Sunday. Plan out the week. Lampard Tom, if you do constant journeys without exiting and end up being late, would that over time have a knock-on effect of other later services? Yes, it would. Fishing will be on PC. I've got it on Xbox, but I generally play it on the PC. Is FSW really heavy on frames? No, I don't think so, actually. Okay, thanks, Francois. If you drop me a note on Discord when you're done, then I can have a look at planning a week out. If you don't get a chance, that's not a problem. I will figure something out. Next station is Slough. You thought TSW would be good for GA as well, did you, Mr. Cubs? You must fly different planes to me. It's alright, Just Trains made the same mistake. They reckon that this was an add-on for TSW. Sorry, they don't reckon this is an add-on for FSW. Cheers, Simon. See you later. You've got an orange juice lolly, Moggy. Very nice. Is that the Del Monte one? Instead of distracting me, you distracted yourself. The good news is that your plan certainly achieved distraction. The bad news may have distracted the wrong person. Oh, as the zone. Oh, nice. How's family? They're very good. Macy Blackie, thank you. Ed, yep, we're going to do... I think I'll probably do one thing in Train Sim 1 tonight. And I'll put a poll up, see what people want to do. It'd probably be a Tactile Barn, the Hydraulics, or a Rosa line. Interested to know what folks want to see. Me doing the high mech scenario. Which one's the high mech scenario? The doors and get going. The guard's whistle. Yeah, I know what you mean, Eleniel. LNR 7220, a .ap file is just a zip file, so if you've got something like 7-zip or WinRAR, then they'll open it. It's just a zip, but you could rename it to .zip and it would work. Who's Colonel Failure, Tordek? Langley! Wow, we're going to Virginia. It's a long old ride in a 166. No, 7-zip is free, Eleniel. Ironically, WinRAR isn't. It just doesn't stop you from using it. Fruit J, Sandpatch did get some polish, yeah. It was towards the end of the project, so probably, you know, it wasn't a massive polish, but it definitely had some love looked over it. Hey Jack Newcrest. What graphics settings am I using? I'm using 1080p and everything on Ultra. I am feeling it was sniffly last night and then it all went away, so that probably means it will come back with a vengeance later. I'm cheerful, aren't I? SimGamer Andy, can I show you what happens if I don't stop at a station? I've no idea what happens if you don't stop at a station. I've just never, even if I try, I've failed to miss a stop at stations. A green bar with a mouse picture on the left. What? I have no idea what that means, White Meat. Fling a screenshot on Discord. Colonel Failure is a YouTuber. Oh, right. Mr. Cubs, am I telling you that I've never networthed in my own game? If you'll believe that, then yes, that's what I'm selling. You work for railways in Australia, Jack? Oh, nice. While I'm here then, settings. These are my settings. So 1080p, full screen, ultra, TAA, screen percentage is about 100%, and then these are all ultra or whatever the highest values are. Currently getting 60 frames. What you should do if you miss a station, to be honest, is press escape. Run the red light, and then you'll get a rerun last checkpoint that comes up. If you get this green bar and mouse symbol, can you take a screenshot of it and send it to Dovetail Support so they can take a look? Thank you. Right, Ivor, good idea. Ayrton! GWR Class 166, yes, thank you for the cheer, Ayrton. Check a screenshot, Control F. The in-game one is Control F12. That might not have the UI on it though, because it does that before it does a screenshot. Whereas the Steam one screenshot, so normally it's just F12 on its own. My system, I've remapped it to Control Shift F12, but your Steam screenshot is the one to take, because then all the UI and everything will be on there. How soon will Steam locos be added? Oh, no idea. No idea. That's a lot of work, actually. Here it comes out of the fog. Stopping at Ivor. Something like an LMS Garrett, yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, have you done an uncouple-couple type operation before that? Because is that something you've done there, Whitemead? Is it possible to have TSW send out commands from motion control platform? Technically it would be possible, but it's not something that you could do in the game as it stands. The information certainly would be there though. Okay, send that screenshot to Dovetail support then, Whitemead, and explain what you did. I think that happens sometimes when you uncouple or couple wagons. Fridge Stallion, might I say DTG, terrific job on Drake Western, played it since you got it, and even on low graphics it still looks great. Thank you very much, Fridge Stallion, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'll pass your feedback to the team. Welcome back, Steam Master. Hayes and Harlington. And then Southall. And then we miss a couple. Yana Dunk, you reckon it happened to you? If you can put a screenshot into Dovetail as well, Yana Dunk, if it happens. The more people report issues to Dovetail, the more they can get a picture for how many people are experiencing issues. And different people have slightly different ways of reporting them that actually might help explain it. That's better. Steam Master, yes, this is Great Western Express. Where's my lights not on? Sweet cigarettes. You can get them again. They're not called cigarettes anymore. They're just called candy sticks. When I was last in a petrol station, you can get the little box of them. They're thicker now as well. No, they're not as nice as they used to be. Fridge Stalin, you can ask me anything you like. I don't guarantee to answer. No red dye at one end. No. Oh no. Yeah, and there's generally a number of times the horns keep disappearing. But, there you go, look. Right, 400 yards. The rain sounds have all gone. Well, if you'd called her Catwoman and she called you Batman, that might have made more sense. Depends if her name is Selena, though, I guess. You've just been offered a refreshing glass of diesel by the wifey. Life is good. Oh, but her name isn't Diana either. Oh, fair enough then. Dark, disturbed, and like dressing in latex. That probably describes Fringe quite accurately. Is rail driver support something planned for short term or long term? There's nothing announced on rail driver support at the moment. It's on my personal wish list of things to do, but I've got a lot of other stuff to do as well. .7 miles, Southall. I've run all 4 tutorials Wilberforce. I ran them all yesterday. What problems are you having? Hey, rock and roll train. Oh yeah, definitely keeping the Ryan Brew alive. Oh yeah. Well, there's lots of routes I'd like to see in TSW, not just more of this one. When were the sounds for this recorded? Not that long ago. Well, I say not that long ago. It was done sort of during the course of the project. Oops. Little route fact, if I can get to it. You know this water tower? Did you know it's got that on the side? Who knows what that's for? It's the Heathrow landing pass. It's the direction to Heathrow. Lathe, will any of the route be extended? There's nothing been announced on that. Your best bet is going to be to ask that question to Dovetail and then keep an eye on Dovetail feedback on that one. I'm not allowed to talk about things that haven't been announced on the official forums, so... Trigger markers don't appear to be working, e.g. HSD starts up but then you can't move. That's interesting. Have a look at my VOD from yesterday, Wilberforce. Yeah, I ran all 4 tutorials one after the other. Are you, so if you make sure you can see the blue marker, because I know some people are switching it off and the tutorials kind of, some of them depend on you being able to see the blue marker. Ealing Broadway and then London Paddington. Don't do a Nebworth at Paddington. The control 1 toggles the markers, Wilberforce, sorry. 1.8 miles for Ealing Broadway. Oh, a Festinial could be lovely, wouldn't it? I know, that's one I'd love to see. .7 miles. Ooh, will I get it back on time again? Hey DJSP, I'm feeling good actually. Kind of missed the correct stop at marker, but never mind. Guess this isn't the train they're looking for. Or I'm full. No, not full. Oh, hello, Mr. 166. Any plans to do a guard's job? I'd like to. I've been thinking about what it might actually involve, but there's nothing planned. Right, London Paddington, 8:26. Final approach into Paddington now. Captain Jenks, you like the way the bogies and corridor connections move? Yeah, no, me too. That's one of my... It's just little details like that. Just looks amazing. No, there's no bonus points for pressing the horn, Woody TV. For those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the stream, if you go onto the Steam forums, or if someone can post a link, there is a sort of a hack, if you like, that let you edit an INI file and disable motion blur until there's a proper solution for it. There you go, 4072 just posted the link. You can't hear me, Dave? Why can't you hear me? Back to mainline. Dan Demand, what are you referring to when you say that? Do you mean guard mode? Like I said, there's no plans at the moment for it. DJSB, some people like it, some people don't. I think if you're on a lower spec machine, the motion blur is probably distracting, because it happens on the mouse movement as well. When you do that, you get motion blur, and on a high frame rate, it doesn't really cause a problem. But if you're on a lower frame rate, I think it becomes far too visible, the screen blurring out. Oh, the motion blur disable, yes. There'll be something coming as a short-term solution initially. Yeah, the route is getting very good reviews. The core product reviews are going up as well, Kevin. So Train Sim World's review score is now, and they're mostly positive as well, which is excellent. Very pleased. There's a plans on a trolley lady mode. Moggy, are you going to do that? We need to get you into the office so we can model you for trolley lady mode. Well, trying a few fixes. No, this is exactly the same game that you've all got. I wouldn't be allowed to run a fixed version with before anybody else anyway. Not on the stream. Yeah, exchanging tokens would be cool, wouldn't it? But they all add to the complexity. A lot of it is a case of, it's not so much the complexity of making it happen, it's what happens if you don't. The penny's going to cost extra. Hang on, Moggy, that's not what we agreed. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Funky Az. Got about a minute and a half. Drop down to the 40. Hey Laith, this is your first experience of Train Sims and you have to say you've enjoyed it. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm very pleased to hear that. I'll pass that on to the team as well. If you have any issues or even feedback of any sort, then do raise a ticket with Dovetail support and put that in there, and that way it'll get figured into when we're thinking about what to do. Well, I think the CSX, when it was originally launched, Jack, had some frame rate issues, but they've been gone for quite some time now. So I think a lot of people are coming back saying that this has got great frame rates, but actually CSX has the same frame rates as this, and has had for quite some time. Well, we're going to platform 14? Looks like it. That's the underground platform to the side. Yeah, changeable weather would be good. Come on everyone, figure it out, get off the train. Real weather mode. Yeah, there's no reason why we couldn't do that. You have to have access to a Meta data source. I think our license for DBS covers everything, but everything you do has to then go back to DBS for re-verified, I think. Still getting used to not pressing T. I know. No, the underground platforms are over... there you go. That's the underground platforms. You can see the fourth rail. That's Paddington's underground station. Or underground platform. 8:49. This one goes back. Right. Let's come out of that then. Someone said they were. Let's do the aggregates unloading. I'll be right back. I just need to double check something and have a quick toilet break. I'll leave you with Chair. Don't be rude to Chair. Right, I'm back, folks. Oh. Hello, EC. See you later, Woody. Right, scenarios. Aggregate industries. Let's do this and then we'll do something TS1. Chair was talking about future TSW releases. What have I told you?
That was a good run from the West Country, but it's now time to get down to business and unload these wagons. Set up for shunting and reverse the train through the discharge facility to get these wagons unloaded.
Right, set up for 3. That's it. So throttle to notch 1, and then we just have to go and wait for it. Ah. See you there, French Stalin. Right, let's head over with the 8 camera over to the unloading area. So what we're going to do after this, folks, for TS1? Is it a high mech scenario or something everyone was talking about? We'll do high mech then. What's the name of the scenario? LNER switches navigate around switches. They switching cars. That's just what they call it. We call it shunting, they call it switching. Therefore, what we call a shunter, they call a switcher. I'll see if I can sort out getting the new plane in FSW for next week. We'll have a flight sim session maybe. know if you guys have noticed that even the undersides are animated. Well, it's supposed to be anyway. There you go. .060 switching engine, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, we still call it the road here as well, even so, you know, railroad, railway. It's the chain that, well, commonly it's a railroad in America, a railway over here, switches over there, and so forth. It's still, a lot of it is interchangeable. At any point, will GW be able to be bought separately from CSX? I don't know at this point. Yeah, so safest bet is to assume not at this point. That's probably a question for Dovetail, to be honest. So these have got, these are in sets, so you'll find that you've got Buckeyes in the middle of sets, and then you've got the screw links, which are the standard UK coupler, in the at the end of sets. Now, before we go any further, I want to look at something. This could break everything. Oh, they are. You see it open, the door opening and closing at the bottom? Down here. Now, for obvious reasons, it won't let you do that if it's got stuff in it, because the animation couldn't cope with it.
That was great work. You should get that train over to Acton Yard, where it can be prepared before the return trip to the Mendips.
Right, let's get out of here then. Ed, yeah, I did, but it was requested, so I'm doing it again. LNER, no, these ones can be done on the move. A lot of unloading can be done on the move these days. Slowly, but what they have is a I don't know if it's whether it's modelled, but or if I can remember where it is. But somewhere down here there's a catch, and as the thing goes in, it hits the catch, which then causes things to unload. Is it that? No, that's a locking thing. There's something on the wagons that causes them, when they go past, it opens them up automatically. Man-made. Eventually, yes, multiplayer is definitely on the plan, but it's about getting a sort of stable game with plenty of content, get some editor tools out there, and build the base of the game up. But yeah, multiplayer is definitely in mind. Oh right, okay, these ones don't. Okay. There's no time scale on the multiplayer yet. Right, let's get stopped. Give it just a moment. I've already got the light ready to go. Let's get moving. Right, with the speed limit. Let's just wait now and yes, Sequelonco, that's the catch point. Got 5 miles to Acton. Random. That's better. Right. Must be time for another cup. Good evening, Gavty. I think, remember rightly, if I'm looking at the right place, this is the where I think some of the steam locos are prepared. Yeah, this is an area where I think Locomotives Limited maybe, and you get some steam locos based in there. That's where the mainline steam is based and prepared and so forth. Well, you see some sprung and buffer action probably. Southall Depot, 2 steam operators there, yeah. I remember looking into it at one point. Right, good night, LMERBR. Hey there, inline 5. Did you turn AWS on, Captain Jenks? That's the Greenford branch triangle. Turn AWS off, but don't use it until the patch comes out, because the brakes apply for the wrong reasons. If you want, you can either just wait, it should be 2 minutes and then it should reset it, or do a save and reload, and that might bring it back up in the state that works. But if you just leave it there for 2 or 3 minutes, it should reset the brakes. But yeah, don't use AWS. Not yet. DSD should be okay, but the problem with DSD is that there's another issue that means that DSD is not audible outside. So if you're going to use DSD, you really need to be sitting inside the cab. Whoops. Oh no, I'll get away with it. We'll be alright. Well, it doesn't always work on the 166, Captain Jenks. But suffice to say, the team are on it. I think it's fixed in the dev build at the moment. What I was told when I asked about it was that they felt it would probably apply to everything. I experienced the issue on... Oh, I released the brakes. Why did I do that? No! Don't! Oh well. Never mind. Right, okay, let's do a bit of TS1, shall we? Hang on a minute. Where's their DB in England? Deutsche Bahn bought English, Welsh and Scottish EWS.